Hey guys, I just wanted to touch really quickly on a concept that's a little bit cheesy, but it is relevant, so I'm gonna talk about it. The power of just actually asking for things and just taking a chance, regardless of whether it seems a little bit daunting or whether you feel like you're gonna get shot down. Obviously, we've got our modules on rejection and resilience, and all of these things, they do sound a bit buzzwordy and they do sound a bit, you need to have resilience, but it is relevant. I'll give two tangible examples of how just asking for things has benefited me personally and professionally. So one of them happened literally today, which sort of prompted this video. I'm obviously making more content for these courses and I want to be able to produce good content for you guys. This isn't about being like flashy and having super edited content, but I wanted the audio to be okay. So I went and bought this mic just now, and these DJI mics are not cheap. I think this was $385 for like a mic. When the guy was ringing it up at the cashier, I'm like, fuck, they've got a like price match guarantee. Maybe I should have run it through my phone and just checked to see who was selling it elsewhere, but now he's already putting it through the till. It's a bit late to be doing that, so I could have easily just gone, whatever, I'll just pay it. But I just said to the guy, hey, a bit cheeky, but do you reckon, like, you're on a computer, do you reckon you could just copy and paste the name of that mic into Google, search and see who's selling it cheaper than you guys, and then just price match that price for me? He very well could have done, and I thought he was going to say, no mate, I'm not gonna search the name for you to get it cheaper so that we can sell it to you for cheaper. But he was just like, yeah, sure, no worries. So within 10 seconds, he just copied and pasted it, found it for 325 rather than 385. And just by literally asking the question, like from me posing the question to him ringing it up as a separate price was probably 30 seconds. If I'm being conservative, like maybe even quicker than that. And if you work that out as an hourly rate, that's an awesome hourly rate. Like that's definitely worth doing. Another example would be, like, it's very easy to dissuade yourself from calling a client if something's gone wrong in the past, or if it's, if you feel like you already have a preconceived outcome to how a situation is going to go, you might talk yourself out of it. I had a mailer that I sent, a mass mailer out to clients, and I got a response back. So long story short, there was some email addresses that weren't correct on there. I looked at the other email addresses in that company and just guessed the email addresses for these people that didn't have the correct details. That's a good way to actually fill out a database. If you've got patchy database, you can just look at the other format and just guess it, and usually you can get a pretty good idea. This particular person was the head of talent acquisition. Guessed his email address, sent him a mailer, and he called me because my number was on that email, and he called me and said, hey Josh, just getting back to you about your email that you sent. I just wanted to let you know that we will never work with you guys. This wasn't my business now, this was a business that I previously worked for as an employee. So just calling you to let you know that we're never going to work with you guys again. I was like, okay, well, that wasn't really the response that I was hoping for, but can I ask why? Like, what's the situation? I appreciate that something must have gone wrong. And he said that they had agreed terms of business with my predecessor, like somebody in the past. He didn't mention who it was. And he said that after agreeing terms of business, that same consultant went and called their staff and tried to take their staff from them. So, I mean, it happens a bit in recruitment, not always intentionally. And I don't know whether that was intentional, but obviously they're not gonna be happy with that as a client. So I just apologized and said, look, I don't know who that was. Definitely wasn't me. Hopefully I can make it right. And he said, no, that's it, we're done. Like, we will not be working with you guys. Appreciate your time, don't send me any more emails. Fast forward maybe a week, I had a candidate that would have been perfect for their business, and they would have been sort of top of the hit list. So I could have very well talked myself out of calling him back, but I didn't. I did call him, and I don't think I got through to him, but I think I sent him a text saying, hey, such and such, appreciate the nature of our conversation last time, wasn't particularly positive. I do have a candidate that I would like to introduce to you. Is there any chance that we could meet for a coffee? I'd really like to make the relationship right. And I thought I'd probably just get ignored. But he got back to me and he said, yep, I appreciate you reaching out. It's clear that you're trying to make things right. Let's meet for a coffee. So I went and met him for a coffee. And then there was another ask. Like, not only did I ask them to meet with me after we had supposedly stitched them up, but then the terms of business that were agreed by the previous consultant were not favourable, and I wouldn't have been able to work to them. Once we were there, I said, hey, another thing, like, this guy agreed less than I'm willing to work at. It's just not going to work. I've got other clients that are willing to pay a higher fee percentage for my time. Is there any chance that we could sort of bring it up to be in line with that? I did actually negotiate and give him a pretty good rate because of the situation and because he'd come to the table and was willing to chat with me. Long story short, by asking, I got a new client who previously had sworn to never work with me, and I also increased the previously agreed fee percentage by 2%. You're talking like, when you're talking a $200,000 salary, 2% is quite a lot of money. If you do ask and you're not afraid of getting rejected or you're not afraid of getting told no, sometimes it works out quite well in your favor. And if you apply that across the macro, eventually you're going to have a good outcome from that. So stay resilient and keep asking for things.